racing now. I wish I win from last. A spectacular TJ win. Giga kick down the outside, wins the Everest. Shinzo and Ryan Moore have drawn clear to win the Golden Slipper.
With Tim Gilbert and Julie Snook, this is Racing Dreams.
Hello, and what a day of racing we have today, Julie. Some cracking races at Randwick, including the Canterbury.
Including the Canterbury. Good morning, Timmy. Good morning to you at home. And Sydney's put on another sparkler today too. The weather is absolutely sensational. 2 Group 1s at Royal Randwick. Some great racing for the 2-year-olds as we count down to the Slipper 2. And we've got a great show coming up. Let's take a look. We catch up with Hall of Fame trainer Les Bridge as he returns to the track with another grey legend.
Absolutely, looking forward to that one. I catch up with Chris Waller as he reflects on the life of Mare Very Elegant.
And we spend 2 minutes with comedian Vince Sorrenti as he recounts some rather funny racing tales.
Yeah, he's a funny man.
I was going to say, everything he does is funny.
Oh, he's a comedic legend, that guy. I could hear the same joke 20 times told by him and I'll laugh just as much.
And it's not a racing link that you would think either.
Wait for that one.
Yeah, wait for that one.
Now, today marks the final race day ahead of the Sydney Autumn Carnival next week.
To talk us through the day, we're joined by Daily Telegraph journalist Shane O'Cass. Good morning, Shane.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Tim. Well, it's not very often you get to say that the Everest winner is racing, but that's exactly what we're going to see at Randwick today, because Think About It is back for his autumn campaign. And look, he seems to be going as well as ever. Some people think it might be a test for him today. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think so. He's been absolutely fantastic in his trials. And look, he just doesn't lose. He's only lost twice out of 13 times, and he probably shouldn't have lost either of those times. So I can't wait to see him back, and I can't wait to see what happens when they step him out to the Doncaster Mile, because this could really be the making of the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable. We do have Joe Pride on the program today. Now, what about the Randwick Guineas Militarised will go in as favourite?
Yeah, look, this looks like a clash of the done deal colts to me, Timmy. These horses were foaled just 5 days apart in the spring a couple of years back, and they've been fantastic. They sort of have different paths towards their big clash today. Celestial Legend was absolutely incredible last week. He was very classic legend-like, I thought, over the last bit, just sprinting away from them in the Hobartville. But then, of course, we've got Militarised, who I find a very underrated horse. I mean, he won 2 legs of the 2-year-old Triple Crown last year, the Size and the Champagne. He came back and won the Golden Rose. He raced in a Cox Plate, and look, first up he ran second to Fangirl, which and beat Think It Over Home. So he's got the weight for age form coming back to his own age. So it's going to be a great race. I wonder if the barriers are going to have much to do with it. One's drawn 1, that's Militarised, and Classic Legend is drawn wide. So it could even come down to the jockeys as well as the horses.
So many slips of the tongue when you're talking about Celestial Legend and Classic Legend. I saw him earlier this week at the stables, and I was just saying to Timmy, it's like looking at Classic Legend because he's got that deep grey, and we'll catch up with Les shortly. But also on the Todman today, what a race this is shaping up to be.
Look, it could almost be the race of the day, Julie, because this will make the slipper picture a little bit clearer, or maybe a little bit foggier, because we've got a Golden Gift winner, a Silver Slipper winner, a Blue Diamond Prelude winner, a Breeders' Plate winner, and a Piero winner, and all different horses. So with Storm Boy at home in his box, I wonder if the slipper picture is going to change a little bit today, because any one of these horses is a slipper colt if he comes out and wins impressively today. Switzerland, part owned by Coolmore as well. I mean, he's the second or third favourite for the slipper. He could be second favourite after today because he's a very good colt. But look, it'll be a fast run race, no prisoners taken, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. This is a real dress rehearsal for the Golden Slipper.
Oh, some very valuable colts in that race, isn't there? Bodyguard, Espionage, it's everywhere you look.
Well, absolutely, and as I say, Storm Boy's been back favourite all the way through the Golden Slipper, and I know you love him, Tim, and I know he was super impressive last week. But look, as I say, if one of these colts was to come out today and really stamp his authority on the Todman, which is a very important lead up to the Golden Slipper in only 2 weeks' time, look, who knows, maybe Storm Boy comes back to the field just a little bit.
All right, we did see some vision there just quickly of Private Eye. Of course, he's in the Challenge Stakes today. Over 1,000 metres goes in as favourite for that one. But I want to quickly ask you about I Wish I Win, Peter Moody's guy. We saw him jump out earlier in the week. What did you make of that? Do you think we're going to see him here for the TJ?
Well, it looks like he will come back to defend his TJ crown. Apparently, Peter Moody was very pleased with the jump out at Pakenham during the week. Look, he was very unlucky not to win the Everest last year. I wish I win, and he's going to be targeted for that race again in the autumn. But before that, I do expect to see him here for the TJ. It's a great race for him. Very fast run, 1,200-metre races, suits him right down to the ground. Then he might go to Brisbane for a little spin around and then back to Sydney for the big one, the Everest.
With Imperatrice, I think we're all a bit surprised that we did not see Imperatrice in the Everest last year.
I was surprised that she didn't come up because, look, she probably debatable, but I think she nearly could have won it. I would suspect that she'd come up for the TJ Smith, and that's going to be a great clash there. She's only been to Sydney once, and that was actually in the Canterbury Stakes last year where she was beaten, and she hasn't lost since. So she'll be in the Newmarket today, Timmy. It's 40-odd degrees in Melbourne. They've brought all the races forward. I wonder if the heat's going to have anything to do with Imperatrix, because apparently she's like most horses. She doesn't really like it, but she's a champion. I suspect she'll be coming through winning again.
Yeah, I think we'd all love to see her up here in Sydney. And just quickly before we let you go, the internationals, we've seen Tom Makwan. He's back here in Sydney. Geez, he's been training hard as well. What's William Haggis got planned this autumn?
Well, unfortunately, Julie, William was going to have up to about 5 horses coming down for the Autumn Carnival. We've seen him bring some great horses in the past, but he's down to 1 now. But it is the favourite for the Sydney Cup, Post-Impressionist. He's only got 50 kilos. Tom will ride the horse in the big race. And look, William Haggis, he puts fear into the life of all bookmakers because he knows what to bring down here. And the punters absolutely love him. And they love Tommy as well. He's a very popular jockey in the jockeys' room and also with the general public because he's a world-class rider. And he's going to do a great job on Post-Impressionist in the Cup.
The vision we just saw there, Timmy, was Tom training with Trent Langlands there in the eastern suburbs, and I don't think I'd get through the warm-up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think I'd get to the car park, to be honest with you. Yeah, and look, William Haggis was fantastic to catch up with him in Newmarket last year for Racing Dreams. Quickly, a tip.
Yeah, look, my tip today is Militarise in the big one. I love this horse, Timmy. I think he's so underrated and he's such a top colt. He only needs to get the breaks. He's got the right jockey on and he'll run the trip right out. I'm pretty keen on him.
All right, Shane. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Julie.
It's been 2 years since Hall of Fame trainer Les Bridge has been at the track on race day. So it must have been something special to get him back there.
Oh, he has another stunning grey in his life, Celestial Legend, who just recently handed Les his second Hobartville Stakes. And Les is very confident, and I mean very confident, that he can win his first Group 1 in today's Randwick Guineas.
This horse has been special from the start. I've had a lot of good horses and he's in that mould. Everything he's done has been different than the ordinary horses. Got a beautiful fluent action, great attitude. I think he's got a big motor. I'll find out on Saturday whether he's got a big V8 or not, but no, he's a horse I really like.
What's he like around the stables? What's he like to work with?
For a colt, he's terrific. He's got a lovely, placid nature. He's a kind horse. He's not colty. He's always been a little bit backward and light in condition, but Mr. Ho said he wanted to buy a horse that might make a stallion, and I wanted to buy one I didn't think I'd have to cut. So actually, it's all turned out good. Now you can see why I bought him.
There was another grey here that you've had a good time with over the years in Classique Legend. How is he going in his new home?
Well, I got some films the other day. Kieran McAvoy's family's got him now. The whole family, I think, ride him. And he was jumping hurdles the other day. He's a beautiful animal. So I was just delighted that they got him because I know that they love him as much as I do.
It must have just been so lovely to know that after the journey that you, the horse and Karen had been on, that was his forever home.
Well, it's like a fairy tale.
Celestial Legend's out now, and here he comes. Celestial Legend moved up, took the lead in the Hobartville Stakes, and he's starting to draw away. It's been a long time between drinks for Les Bridge, but that's his second Hobartville.
It was 40 years between drinks for the Hobartville Stakes. How did that feel?
Geez, you reminded me of that.
You're
40
a spring
years.
chicken.
Yeah. 40 years. Doesn't seem that long.
Thank you.
Mr. Ho and your association with him, how special has that been?
He's been terrific to me. Probably the reason I'm still training. To win that race the other day was special for me.
Let's talk about this colt of yours heading into the weekend. What do you make of the field, first of all?
Well, Group 1s, they were always tough. Favourite's a really good horse and deserves to be favourite, militarised. And the difference between the two horses is that he's probably a bit more seasoned and he's had that bit more battle hardened. He's had all that racing in Melbourne and I think he ran in a Cox Plate. So if it gets down to a real tight horse race, he's going to have the advantage there.
A win in a race like this on Saturday, what does it mean for him? What does it mean for his path? What does it mean for...
Well, to win a Group 1, he's a beautifully bred horse. He's by Dundeel. He's out of a great South African family, top sprinters. It's really a good pedigree for a stallion, and I think he's a pretty valuable animal if he can win Saturday.
I read this week that you said at your very young age, by the way, I think you're very young, you don't have to be training anymore. Why are you still training?
Because I'm terrified of having nothing to do. I get up at 4 in the morning and how would I fill my day?
But while ever you got the good horses coming, you'll keep coming back here?
It's a big help. At my age, you like to go for the big ones, so we'll have a crack there on Saturday.
Oh, beautiful story, Jules. What a legend. 87 in July, eh?
87 in July is our Les, and he wanted to point out that the halter that Celestial was wearing was, of course, Rabbitoh's colours.
Oh, absolutely. We noted
You
that.
may have noticed that small
and I know
detail.
the great John Massaro, we're heading up to Scone a little later in the week. We're going to be live from Scone next week. We'll be taking very close interest in many of the races today. Of course, the Dundeals. How good are they?
Very good. Well, the second Group 1 of the day today is the Canterbury Stakes.
And champion trainer Joe Pride joins us now ahead of what is a huge Saturday for your stables. Joe, think about it. What a horse.
Yes, yeah, he's behind me here and he's returned in great order. So very happy with everything that's happened with him so far. But as you said, it's a big day today. He's first up, but I feel like he's had a lovely preparation to run really well.
Someone might want to tell him he's first up today, Joe. He looks very relaxed in the back there.
Yeah, he won't be today at the races, I could guarantee you of that. He's got a bit of a reputation as having some unusual pre-race antics. He gets himself pretty hyped up, but that's standard for him, and we've seen him perform doing that. So it's kind of like, as much as a negative as it would sound, it's kind of what you want to see from him. That's his pre-race behaviour. So he's a pretty special horse. I don't have to tell you that. His record speaks for itself, and we'd like to think we could build on that today.
Oh, absolutely. And we've been looking at the vision of him winning the Everest from last year, and it was a fantastic win. He's just one of these horses with that will to win. He finds a way to be in front at the end of the race.
He does. He just gets it done. And until his most recent start, he'd actually never been overtaken from behind in a race, which is a pretty unique quality to have. At the end of the day, it's a race to the post, and if nothing can come from behind you, the only ones you've got to beat are the ones in front of you. So, and he races up on speed, which gives him an advantage, and for that reason, he's basically as close to bulletproof or foolproof horse as you could find.
So, Joe, what is planned for him this season? You've talked about this in the past. You want to step him up in the trip.
Yes, yeah, I want to find out exactly how far he can run, and that's not an experimental thing by any stretch. It's been well thought out, and he's already run over 1400. So the stretch to the 1600 of a Doncaster, which would be third run back this time round, I would think that if he could run, and historically horses that can run out the Stradbroke trip quick, can run a mile. So I think he'll be able to do that. It's maybe beyond that might be the test for him, but hopefully this preparation we get that opportunity to find out exactly how far he can run. But not just how, I mean, he could run any distance. I'll put him over. It's how effectively he does that. And we need to find the best possible version of Think About It. And if the best possible version of Think About It's a sprinter, we'll come back in the spring and go for an Everest with him. But if we feel like he can run that mile strongly, then races like the King Charles or even the Cox Plate come into reckoning.
Yeah, some real options there. What about Private Eye? Like we're talking about proven thoroughbreds again. Yeah, no, fantastic to have two horses like this, and they live side by side. He's on my right hand side, Private Eye. He's been a really special horse, and he's a top quality sprinter. Started life as more of a miler, but as he's got older, he's again found that best possible version of himself as a sprinter. Left him at 1,000 metres today on his way to a TJ Smith, and he'll run really well. He knows nothing else. He's a high quality horse who's got great speed in his legs, and someone wants to show off. This is Spud, everybody. Think about it.
Good morning, Spud. We're all keeping an eye on you today. In terms of Private Eye, Joe, you said on radio this week that the race you really want to aim him for, the race you really want to win with him, is that TJ. Yeah, look at... Seemingly, when you look at his record, his best track and distance is Randwick, 1,200 metres. So the best race they run at the Randwick 1,200, or the best two races are the Everest and the TJ. He's already placed in a couple of Everests, so the TJ is the logical aim for him in an autumn campaign. And his only weakness is wet tracks. So hopefully this year, unlike last year, we have a dry track for him. It was a really heavy track last year, and it really just put him out of play.
You're training Marzu now, and Marzu is in today. How's he been going?
Really happy with him. So a new horse to the stable, and we can never get carried away and predict what these horses are going to do, because race day and racing is the ultimate test of how well they've come up. But I've got to say he's adapted really well to a new environment, and I think that's the key to him here. That change for horses that have been in a routine for a long time can often be the thing that triggers a little bit of a resurgence or a rejuvenation in their form, and that's what he needs. He's raced below what he's capable of doing at his past preparation or so. Just a start point today, 1,000 metres, but I expect him to run really well. His trials have been very good. The Snowdens, Peter and Paul, have done a fantastic job with him so far. It's been the reins have been handed over to me now, and he's a very special horse in his own right. He's won $7 million. Quality sprinter. Seemingly the best of him comes when he gets on soft tracks, which he won't have today, but I don't think that'll stop him from performing really well.
Well, Joe, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. It is a big day for the team, and it's so great to hear you're in this position. You're throwing around some really, really big names today. I just want to ask you quickly, how did Brave go in the HSC? Because he was studying last year in the Everest. Yeah, he went well. No, he exceeded both Kylie and myself's expectations, and probably his own as well, which was good. And it's not something, the score isn't something he needs to use straight away, but it was good for a kid who had a lot of distractions, let's call it that. He did really well. He applied himself well. And that's a good sign going forward, because there's always going to be a lot of distractions in your life.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were good distractions too.
Congratulate him from us.
Yes.
Good on you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Good luck, guys.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Coming up, we check out the leaderboard in our tipping comp. I did all right. I was on Stormboy.
What a stitch up. Plus 2 minutes with Aussie funny man Vince Sorrentio. Can't wait for that one.
It's good to have your company. This is Racing Dreams, and a little bit of fun now. Our Racing Dreams tipping comp, of course, it's not all that serious, but...
there is a lot on the line.
It's starting to get very, very competitive. I know.
Week 2. Well, in studio today we have the wonderful Mark Brassel. Good morning to you, sir. Looking very sharp.
Good morning. Thank you
always.
very much.
Of course.
I see you've gone a mixture of youth plus a couple of years.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a hosting youth and experience.
And welcome to you, Nick Burney, as well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Julie. Tim, it's good to get off the board there last week, so 1 from 1, but hopefully you can go 2 from 2 tomorrow.
Well, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, but we'll get to the leaderboard a little bit later.
So which way have you gone this week, Nick? Tell me.
I'm going to go to Tamworth on Sunday.
Oh, I'm going to be there tomorrow. Looking forward to going to Tamworth.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Tamworth. So Brett Kavanagh has a runner called More Sislak. So it's in race 3. It's number 2. And look, I just think he's ready to win. His first up run, the market really told the story late there where it's a drifter late in the trade. And we're going to pick him up here now on the vision. He's the horse in the black with the pink hat as well, and he just gets to the outside, and the leader really skipped on the turn over the 1,000 metres. So he gets out to 1,200 metres on Sunday, and I just like how he hits the line here, and his sectionals really backed it up. So he's strong through the line, gets out to 1,200 metres. From an inside draw, I think he's going to be a cracking bet there on Sunday, and yeah, hopefully he can win. And look at the margin there to 3rd as well. So really good time. Happy to be with him.
I've jotted that one down. All right, Mark, who have you gone with this week?
I'm going with a white hot Nashrawilla. He's on red resistance in race 4 at Randwick. I don't know where we got the vision there.
But
we'll bring it up.
He's a horse that he won his first 2 races sensationally. He was favourite for the Slipper. He then ran second to Cylinder. Now, Cylinder is a 4-time stakes winner. It's running in the Newmarket today, and there you'll see running 3rd behind them is Militarise. And they put 3.5 lengths on Militarise, who's favourite for the Randwick Guineas today. So he's had a tie-back operation, so he's been out for a year. His trials have been fantastic, and I can just picture him being on the speed and kicking over the rise, and Nash just saying, thank you very much.
I'm going to a very difficult race today, and I'm jotting down all your tips as well, so I'll have $2 each way, just friendly.
It's good to see you not on the favourite, just quietly.
No. I'm going a little wider. I'm going with Espionage. This is a really fascinating race, the Todman today. When you think of the colts that are in this race, Switzerland and obviously James Harron, who we're going to talk to, has got Espionage and Bodyguard. But I know that Adrian Bott has a huge opinion of Espionage. So, I'm going Espionage. What do you reckon, Nick?
Yeah, I like Espionage. I'm with you, Tim. And just that last couple of few bounds, what he did past the post, I think it just says he's going to come on from that. And the big difference for me is Rose Hill 1,100 metres to Randwick 1,200 metres, completely different setup. So I like him. I'm with you.
Well, I'm probably a little bit biased because I was at the Lesbridge stables this week, and so I'm going with Celestial Legend. It was so nice to see this guy in the flesh. He is like looking at Classique back in the early days. He's got that dark grey about him. He hasn't filled out yet. He is still very much a baby. He's still quite lean. There's still a lot of growing to do with this guy, but he won that Hobartville Stakes recently for Les. Lovely to see. Just his second in 40 years between drinks for Les. He wasn't impressed when I reminded him of that 4-decade gap there. But he's very confident about Celestial Legend, and we have heard Les Bridge be confident before. I take you back to the 2020 Tab Everest when he told us all, this horse of mine is going to win. And we all said, sure, Les. And look what happened.
Yes, absolutely.
Did he win?
Did he win or what?
Wow.
Did he win? But it's just also lovely to see Les back at the track and back there with a little glimmer in his eye because he loves this horse, and we love to see Les doing well.
All right, we'll watch to see whether Celestial Legend will get the win today. Let's have a look at our other team, because there's 8 of us, of course. There's Mark, there's Nick, there's Julie, there's myself, but we have others. And Jules, do you want to take us through what Kirsten and the other crew are going with, Isabella?
Okay, if I can read that from here, Kirsten has gone a race 8, number 2 at Randwick today. Can you tell me who that is, Nick? Because I can't quite see it from here.
It's a hard hill. Still merrily on.
There you go.
It's a Godolphin 2-year-old. A really nice filly.
Isabella, I do believe that she has gone with Militarise off the top of my head. She's gone with Militarise today to take out the Randwick Guineas ahead of Celestial Legend. And Ray, again, he's a risk taker, our Ray. He's gone with Private Eye in race 6.
Backfired last week.
and Shane O'Cass is... it did backfire. Shane O'Cass, of course, is channeling a little bit of Kevin Costner there with Dances with Hooves. That'll be in Tamworth, race 1, number 12. So we've got a couple of tips in Tamworth. I'm looking forward to getting out to the Country Championships tomorrow.
That'll be great.
It's a great town, Tamworth. Now, here's the leaderboard. Let's have a look at it. I luckily got a victory with Stormboy. I think Stormboy was $1.04 when it jumped.
Winks odds.
Julie, Bom Bom, Shane, Bom Bom, Kirsten, Nick had wins. Mark, this week, Isabella had a win and Ray. So it's even, Stephen, but it's very early on. No premierships are won at this stage of Racing Dreams.
Yeah, a lot is on the line though. I am a little bit nervous, but I would like to say that Ray did go with a favourite last week in Fangirl, so that was probably the upset.
There's 1,000 metres to go, yes.
So,
Holding your own.
are you competitive, Mark, as an individual? You grew
Absolutely.
up with a
I mean, that embarrasses me, that board. Get rid of it. Don't show it again until I get one.
It's all right. We've got Shane O'Cass in the tipping comp. He's not notoriously great with his tips.
Yeah, he must hold a couple in his pocket. He does come up with some beauties, but...
Great journo, though. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see what happens with that one. All right, boys.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon, Nick.
Sounds
And love
good.
the
Cheers. Thank you, guys.
Well, one of the funniest men in the country, Vince Sorrenti, actually has relatives in the horse racing game. This is an interesting one.
Sure does, Jules. He's been making Australians laugh for 40 years, and I caught up with him for a couple of minutes.
What do I love about racing? Well, the shoes, the dresses, the hats, the fashion, not the money. I love Golden Slipper Day. I love it out there at Rosehill Racecourse, all the atmosphere and people dressed up and the food and the hospitality. You know, I went for years before I realised there's actually horses running around that track as well. My best racing story is tipping the winner at the Golden Slipper. Someone stuck a camera in my face and I have no idea what I'm talking about, but my brother-in-law, Nash Rawilla, was riding Piero. They said, who's going to win this race? I said, oh, look, without a doubt, Piero. And he won! Everyone's going, oh, mate, you're a racing genius. I'm an idiot. My favourite horse is that, what's his name? Is it Chautauqua? The guy that doesn't want to come out of the gate? Like, there's a horse with personality. You know, actually, I don't feel like running today. I'll tell you what, why don't you run 2,000 metres and I'll have a bet on you. My luckiest day on the punt. Well, it started off as my worst day on the punt. I'm not a very good punter. And I had bet everything on this race card at Randwick and I'd lost every single race and I had this last race long shot and I said, stuff it, I'm going to go out in a ball of flames, threw something on it, and it won! Thank God it won. I do like a multi-bet. I like betting on really long odds, particularly in sports and other related things. Like I'll have a bet on New York Giants to win Super Bowl, into Napoli to win the Champions League, into Joe Biden to win the Olympic high jump. You know, pay $8 million. I'm tipping the Eels to flog our traditional enemies, the doggies, at Combank Stadium. I'll be out there screaming my lungs out for the. I think it's going to be a good year for everyone's bagging the Eels this year. I think the Eels are in it with a very big show this year.
Welcome back. You are watching Racing Dreams, and there is one person that just seems to have the golden touch when it comes to 2-year-olds, and that is James Harron.
Yep, James Harron from James Harron Bloodstock. Capitalist put him on the map. He put Capitalist on the map when he won the Golden Slipper a number of years ago, and he joins us now. How are you, James?
Yeah, really well. Good morning to you both.
The golden touch, isn't that a nice way of saying it, James? Let's talk about today's Todman, because what a cracking field this is. What a race this is shaping up to be.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable, Julie. It's as good as a lot of the pundits can remember. You listen to all these form experts and they say it's a clash of the titans, a mini slipper, so to say, and dare say it, the winner of this will be the second favourite for the slipper in 2 weeks' time.
Now, I've just tipped Espionage. I know that Adrian has a particular opinion of this horse, as you do.
Yeah, I saw that, Tim, and I saw that green tie, so hopefully that's good luck for us today. But look, he's he's been a very exciting colt from day one for us. He's had a big following in the stable from the first time he stepped out and did some fast work, and he lost no admirers 2 weeks ago when he ran a super first up run from a pretty long break up against Straight Charge, who's a very quick horse. So we're going into today, obviously up to 1200 at Ramwick, and a little bit of a tricky draw, but the horse is really well and expecting a big run from him today.
And Tommy Berry, of course, rides Bodyguard.
He does, Julie. He's actually had a bit to do with Bodyguard from the very beginning. He worked the horse for us before he went to the trials. He rode him on the trials, and the horse went to Melbourne, so he sort of missed out until now, and it's sort of all come back again and into Tommy's lap. So great that he gets to join up with him again. He's 4 weeks between runs. He'll probably get back a little bit in the run, but look for him to be coming home fast and late.
He's a great each-way bet, isn't he, Bodyguard? I think the market's almost missed him a little bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree, Tim. I mean, it's just a little, he's obviously had a little bit of a disrupted prep, but he's an unbeaten colt. He's a magnificent animal, and he's got a great will to win. So, as I always say, beware of the unbeaten horse.
James, what is it about the slipper? Was this a dream of yours when you started your business, your bloodstock career in Australia? Was it the slipper, the magic of the slipper that really sort of captured your attention?
Yeah, no question, Julie. It's the holy grail. It's an amazing stallion making race. It's a very captivating race. It's really quite extraordinary how it shapes the Australian breeding industry, and how difficult it is to not only qualify horses for it, but to actually be competitive and win it. And it's not just horses that win the Golden Slipper, it's horses that are able to compete in the Golden Slipper that go on to be some of the best 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds we see in the generation.
No, absolutely. And it's quite appropriate you use the word captivating, because it was Capitalist in 2016 that won the Golden Slipper, and Aardvark, Capitalist colt, lines up in the Size Produce Stakes at Flemington.
Yeah, that's right, Tim. He's lining up. They're starting a bit earlier today due to the heat. But look, he's been a very progressive colt. He won his last start over 1100. He jumps up to 14, but he's had a jump out in between to keep him up to the mark. He's drawn barrier 3 with Damien Lane. So if he ticks the 1400 metre box, then we're very confident he'll be very hard to beat. But he's a lovely big scopy animal, and with any luck, if he's competitive today, we might see him in 4 weeks' time in the English Sydney sires.
That beautiful deep chestnut colouring there as well. And just quickly, James, you've also got the Pierrata colt Fearless with the Snowden. Saw him in the Blue Diamond recently.
Yeah, look, lovely colt. He's sort of crying out for more ground now, Julie. He's wants that 1600 metres now, so we're bringing him back. He'll run in a lead-up race to the sires. Well, yet to be determined, and then he can you'll see him in the Sydney sires and the Champagne in the next sort of month and 6 weeks' time.
And a big happy birthday to your son, Christian.
Oh, yes.
Yes. James got a big
I've had
day.
to put him outside so you can hear me.
Big day in the Harron household, and a big day at the track. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Same to you guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks, James. Well, it was a very special day at Royal Randwick last week, with racing fans honouring the legacy of the late Very Elegant. Meanwhile, on the track, it was all about Storm Boy.
Yes, Jules, he's the Golden Slipper favourite, and we've been talking about that this morning, but he does have some stiff opposition, including Chris Waller's star colt Switzerland, who will start as second favourite in the Todman.
Well, yeah, it's an exciting time of the year. It's the semi-finals coming into the finals, and it's important that all the horses are firing.
So Switzerland's in.
And one horse in particular, Switzerland, by Snitzel, this 2-year-old colt. I love the name, but tell us about him.
Yeah, he's a well-bred colt, great natured horse, does everything to please you on and off the racetrack. So what we've seen in his 2 races to date, both been very impressive. First time he got back, got into a nice trail, finished off. Second time we made him do a little bit of work, sit outside the leader. and he coped with both scenarios really well.
Inside the 200 and now Switzerland opens the shoulders, really lays it down to Shangri-La Express, is fighting on doggedly, but Switzerland too strong at the end, and Switzerland 2 out of 2 wins the Bureau Plate. Russian Revolution being challenged by Switzerland, who swooped and kicked away, going to second. Castagna down the middle of the track with Russian Roulette fighting back, but it's a big win for Switzerland on debut, beating Castagna.
From our perspective, he's the right type of horse. He's just got to keep taking that next step.
So what sort of tactics are we talking for Switzerland and the Todman?
He'll run really well. You like to have everything in your favour, the nice barrier draw and things like that, but he'll be ready to show that he's ready for the Golden Slipper in 2 weeks' time.
Ready to go. 6-4 favourite for the Slipper in the rough, and Stormboy jumped it all right, but you can see what all the fuss is about. The multi-million-dollar colt Stormboy wins in a cakewalk.
This horse Stormboy is an absolute superstar, we know that. But the Todman, Stormboy won't be in the Todman, but Espionage will, Bodyguard will. It's an extraordinary, talented field.
Yeah, there's no hiding this year, and the colts look fantastic. And as we saw in Melbourne, the Blue Diamond stood up with some good fillies as well too. So that's the classic Golden Slipper scenario. There's so many pathways and so many avenues you can take, but they can't dodge the Golden Slipper. So it's trending to be one of the greatest.
Very Elegant, she's starting a motor now. Rio Didi being tackled by Very Elegant, and the Great Mare wins a 9th Group 1, home best in the George Main. Very Elegant and Colette, what a race! Avilius the outside trying to beat the pair of them, but no! Very Elegant, brave, Very Elegant, beat Colette in one of the great chipping Dortons. Star of the Seas, Very Elegant. I think Very Elegant's kicked back. What a courageous performance.
Amazing horse over a long period of time. Probably a true Australian war horse, where she did it at 3, winning multiple Group 1 races, including the Australian Oaks. Came back at 4, every preparation, in fact, win spring, autumn, she'd win Group 1s. And she won all the big races.
And here's Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke below the 200, the chosen one.
I think the crowning glory is that Caulfield Melbourne Cup double.
And it's Very Elegant, 10 Group 1s, and now the greatest of them all, the Melbourne Cup.
And that might not go down as the highest rating win, but it's still the race that everybody watches in Australia, everybody remembers, and therefore she's become a household name. It's amazing what a Group 1 win will do for a horse. They just change their demeanour, the way you perceive them as well. And she developed into a lovely, mature swan, should we say, Very Elegant. There's her name. Pardon the pun, it just came out. She was an amazing horse.
What was she like to start with?
She was good for me, but she was no good for the track riders, in particular Chris Harwood, that rode her most mornings, as some of the other boys and girls at our stable. She was a real handful to them, but they just worked their magic, as they do as unsung heroes in the industry. It was their challenge to get her right. They knew what ability she had. I just pointed them in the right direction and found the races, and they basically did the rest. So thanks to a great army of people behind Very Elegant and the owners, and I guess that's the most disappointing thing. You put everything into the racetrack, as she did, and it's taken too soon.
We're having some fun here. Time to get that piece of paper out, your pen, your pencil. Let's see if we can find you a winner.
Yeah, Racing New South Wales tipster Nick Burney is in the house. Good morning.
Good morning, Julie and Tim. Yeah, Renwick Rail in the 3-metre position. Good track. I'm ready to bet up today. I think we can find a few winners, so really looking forward to today's meeting.
Cracking day out there too.
It is, yes.
First Group 1 of the day, race 7, the Canterbury Stakes. We have the Everest winner. We spoke to Joe Pride earlier in the show, but you think you found something that might just
Bit more value.
Yeah, just a little bit more value, just purely at the price perspective. And look, think about it, is the champion Everest winner. But I just wanted to go to Espiona. Now, Chris Waller, James McDonald. We're going to have a look at her first up run. Now, you're going to see her in the purple colours come to the outside here. And I just want to make reference to the horse with the orange colours, Imperatrice, who is regarded as one of the best sprinters in the entire world. But I just thought she was fantastic this day. They went at such a slow pace, so she was really mathematically out of the race. But just have a look at her savage the line. She wants to keep picking up all the way through. Her sectionals were the fastest of the whole entire meeting. Look, she's going to have to obviously run into the think about it, as we said, but I think James McDonald might just stay to the fence and pick off a few gaps and be very strong late. So I'm going to lean her way at the price.
All right, well, you've got your best bet in the second Group 1 of the day, the Randwick Guineas. This will be a good one too.
It's going to be a great race, the Randwick Guineas. I do think it's two hopes. I know that's what the market says as well, but I'm going to stick with the Waller and McDonald combination in Militarise. Look, this was his first up run, so this is a weight for age race. So we saw Think It Over go out and win there last week. That's Fango in the cerise colours coming down the outside, winning that day. So Militarise is the horse in the red with the yellow stars as well. And look, to the eye, he only looks like he's going okay, but it was a very solid effort. He goes back to his own age today. And you go through this horse's profile. Second up last preparation, he won the Group 1 Golden Rose. He's just a real peak horse. So Chris Waller gets him right for his targets. I think he's going to be awfully hard to beat. And the thing is, he gets that tactical advantage over Celestial Legend.
Yeah. What about Challenge Stakes?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Challenge Stakes. So as a horse, my next best, and he's a bit of an enigma. So Arf Cabin, I thought he was going to be a Group 1 horse all the way through. And he just had a bit of a mixed preparation there last campaign. So he's the horse with the blue colours there, the Godolphin blue colours, and he just looks like he's ready to sprint fresh. So he gets to the line really well here, goes through the line full of energy, and his first up run last preparation was dynamic. If you can reproduce that, I think he's hard to beat today. He's around that $4.40, $4.60 mark. So another one at the price that I'm happy to play, but just look at him get through the line here. He's ready to go, and I think his target's going to be the Galaxy in a couple of weeks. So he has to be winning today to be competitive in that race.
All right, best value of the day. You've gone with race 10.
Yeah, so Tintuki, so Karen McAvoy and Brad Widdup. So this horse has actually been $26 now into equal favourite, $6, and that's without much of a deduction. So it's the horse with the white colours and the red hat and also the navy blue. And this was 7 days ago over the same track and distance she faces here today. She gets pushed back to the inferior ground. She was just blocked for a little bit of a run there, but she picks up well. And just purely on a ratings perspective, this race against the day, it rated extremely well. So all she has to do is repeat an effort like that, and she's going to be in the finish. Look, the $6 well found now, but look, I think she might get out another roll or two in the betting, but I think she's a good way to finish the day.
Something with a bit of odds, City of Lights?
Yeah, City of Lights. So there'll be a few eyes on this horse, purely for the fact this is actually Winx's half-sister.
Wow.
So everyone will be watching this race nice and close, but here she is coming to the outside here. In the white colours there. And this was first up at Canterbury. It was a high-pressure race. She gets to the outside, hits the line well, and I purely like how she holds her action. She runs some of the fastest closing splits of the day. So that's first up. She can only improve off that effort. She's got a really tricky draw, but the way the track may play, she might just be able to get it back to follow and be charging down the centre of the track. So I think she's a good play each way all day.
All right, if we've got time, let's pull the graphic up. So if you're sitting at home, write Nick's tips down, take a screenshot like I usually do on the phone. There are his picks of the day. We've got Espiona Militarise, Aft Cabin, Tintuki and City of Lights.
Yeah, well, there you go. And straight charge very, very quickly in the Todman. We didn't mention it very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm with Espionage. I think straight charge will be very hard to catch, but now to the Randwick 1,200 metres, that's the way I want to go.
Great day of racing at Randwick.
Yep, can't wait. Looking
Thanks,
forward
Nick.
to it.
Good on you, Nick. As always, thank you to our great sponsors, Racing New South Wales and Arrowfield.
We'll be at Arrowfield this week.
We have a look at the multi, though.
Oh, yeah, the multi.
What about multi? Because people love the exotics.
Yeah, no, I've got my multi. I'm sure it'll come up on the screen too. But at the NRL, I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins. And I'm also going to go... So Farker as a horse is going to be at Hawkesbury today. I think it's a good bet. More Sislak, that horse, Tamworth on Sunday, and the Dolphins for the win as well.
Who are you with, Timmy?
Well, let's have a look at mine because I've put some heat on the Dragons. But I think the Dragons under Shane Flanagan will get the Gold Coast. I think Espionage, I'm going to follow Nick there. And Melody again. Melody again is at Tamworth tomorrow. So look out for Melody again. That's in the Country Champs at Tamworth.
All right, and here are mine. I have gone Think About It for the win. Celestial Legend again. When Les says a win is a win, I'm sticking with a win. And St George Dragons.
Oh, we're really
I don't know about that one.
on the mighty Dragons. Hopefully they'll live up to the expectations. All right, Nick, we'll do it all again next week.
Thank you,
forward
Nick.
to it.
Thank
Okay,
you,
buddy.
Nick.
Thank you so much.
of course, to our sponsors. As I was about to say, we are at Arrowfield Stud next weekend. We can't wait.
Yeah, live from Scone Racetrack next Saturday. I'll be in Tamworth tomorrow. We're covering more ground in the Early
Busy, busy,
Explorers.
busy.
This is where racing dreams come true. We'll see you next week.
See ya.